A man at the bar put his hand on mine and said, "I'm your father, and you need to come with me right now." I was halfway through my second beer when a rough hand covered mine on the bar counter. I looked up into the face of a man I'd never seen before. "I'm your father, and you need to come with me right now," he said, and his voice cracked on the word father. I pulled my hand back and laughed because this had to be some kind of joke. "Buddy, I think you've had too much to drink," I said, trying to catch the bartender's attention. But the man didn't move. He just stared at me with this desperate intensity that made my skin crawl. "Please," he said, "just give me 5 minutes. After that, if you want me to leave, I'll go and you'll never see me again." Something in his voice made me pause. This wasn't the rambling of a drunk person. This was genuine desperation. 5 minutes, I said, glancing at my watch. "Then I'm calling security." The man nodded quickly and pulled out his wallet with shaking hands. From behind old receipts and faded business cards, he extracted a photograph. The paper was creased and yellowed with age, like it had been folded and unfolded 1,000 times. He placed it on the bar between us. The photo showed a younger version of him, maybe in his late 20s, holding 2 identical babies wrapped in blue hospital blankets. His face in the photo was fuller, healthier, and he was smiling despite the exhaustion in his eyes. "That's me 28 years ago," he said, tapping the image. "And these are my sons, twins." I looked at the babies, trying to figure out why he was showing me this. They looked like any newborns. Then my eyes caught on something that made my blood run cold. The baby on the left had a distinctive birthmark on his small hand, a dark spot shaped almost like a comma. I had the exact same birthmark on my left hand. Same size, same shape, same location. My mouth went dry, and I pulled my hand back, tucking it under the bar. "Lots of people have birthmarks," I said. "Not like that one," the man said, and he was leaning forward now. "That's a rare capillary malformation. Less than 1% of people have that specific pattern. The doctors told me when you were born that it was unique." I wanted to argue, to tell him he was crazy, but I couldn't stop staring at that baby's hand in the photo. "Who are you really?" I asked. "My name is David Montgomery," he said, "and I'm your biological father. Your real name is Caleb Montgomery, not Caleb Sutherland. You were born at Mercy Hospital on March 15th at 3:47 in the morning. My birthday was March 15th, but I'd always been told I was born at home with a midwife present, that there were no hospital records because it had been an emergency home birth. This doesn't make sense," I said, pushing the photo back toward him. "My parents adopted me when I was a baby. They told me my birth mother died in a car accident and my birth father was unknown. They went through a private adoption agency." David's face twisted with something between anger and grief. "Your birth mother, Rebecca, died from complications after giving birth to you and your brother. There was no car accident, and I wasn't unknown. I was a 27-year-old addict living on the streets who couldn't take care of 2 newborn babies." The words hit me like cold water. "You said brother," I managed to say. "Twins. You said twins." David nodded and tapped the photo again. "Your brother Isaac. You were both born at the same time, both taken by Child Protective Services when you were 3 days old. A wealthy family wanted to adopt a baby, but they only wanted one. They chose you." I felt like the floor was tilting. "I don't have a brother. I'm an only child." "That's what they told you," David said, his voice bitter now. "Richard and Diane Sutherland specifically requested to adopt only one twin, not both. The social worker tried to keep you together, but they refused. Said they only had resources for one child. One of you got a mansion in the suburbs and private schools. The other got bounced between 6 foster families before aging out of the system at 18. My hands were shaking now, and I gripped the edge of the bar. "Even if this were true, which I don't believe, why are you telling me now? Why tonight?" David's eyes filled with tears and he wiped them away roughly. "Because I need you to come with me right now. Isaac is in the hospital, and he's dying." The word dying echoed in my head. "What?" "He has acute myeloid leukemia," David said. "Aggressive, fast-moving. He was diagnosed 4 months ago and the treatment isn't working. He needs a bone marrow transplant, and I'm not a match. Neither are any of the people on the donor registry." I stared at him, trying to process what he was saying. "So, you track me down and tell me I have a dying brother I never knew about? This is insane. I know how it sounds," David said desperately, "but I can prove everything. I have birth certificates, hospital records, court documents from the custody case. I have DNA test results showing I'm your father. I've been looking for you for 10 years, and I finally found you 3 months ago." 3 months ago? I repeated. "You've known where I was for 3 months, and you're just approaching me now?" David looked down at his weathered hands. "I was scared. I watched you from a distance. I saw you leave your apartment every morning for work. I saw you living this successful, happy life, and I didn't want to destroy it. But then Isaac got worse, and his doctor said he has maybe 8 weeks left without a transplant. I couldn't wait anymore. Isaac is in room 412 at St. Catherine's Hospital right now," David said quietly. "He's been asking about you since I told him I found you. He wants to meet his brother before it's too late. To see what I did next, click the link below or go on my channel."